Hi friends, welcome back to new session. In the last video, if you see in chapter number 1, transformers, we discussed a topic like a transformer as constant flux device. And what is the conclusion we just made here? So N1 I1 equals to N2 I2. This is the condition to be found, approximate condition for maintaining transformer as a constant flux device irrespective of load changes. N1 I2 equals to N2 I2. This is the exact condition for maintaining transformer as a constant flux device irrespective of load changes. Okay guys. So though you maintain this condition, I said clearly 100% pi 2 dash and 100% pi 2 will not cancel with each other. Only 95% of mutual loss component of pi 2 dash, nothing but pi 2 dash m, will cancel with 95% of mutual loss component of pi 2 m. Whereas 5% leakage loss components like pi L1 and pi L2 will be there in the primary and secondary sides. Because of pi L1, so you'll be getting EMF like EX1 in the primary side, which is useless. Because of pi L2, so useless EMF EX2 will be used in the secondary side. So tell me how we have to compensate this EX1 comma EX2 means that only we are going to discuss in the present video. Okay. So let us see how we are going to compensate this EMFs, useless EMFs like EX1 comma EX2, which are induced due to leakage fluxes pi L1 comma pi L2. That's why what is our heading here? What is our topic name? Effect of leakage flux on the operation of transformer. You tell me guys. So initially, if you see here, practically some leakage flux will be there. That only I call it as pi L1. Because of this leakage flux, I said some unwanted EMF, useless EMF EX1 is induced here. Similar in secondary side, so pi L2 is a useless EMF induced in the secondary side. Because of this pi L2, you will get a useless EMF EX2 induced in the secondary side. This EX1 comma EX2 should be compensated. So how we have to compensate these EMFs means that we will discuss in the present video. So before that, you need some very basic things which already discussed. You just try to recollect once so that we can proceed. Very simple. So I am just going to compensate this EX1 comma EX2. I am just going to explain this thing, but by using vector diagram. So for understanding vector diagram, so I think I had given some basics. You please try to recollect that and tell me. So what is the angle between V1 and I mu? I already told. Please try to recollect that and tell me. Angle between V1 and I mu 90 degrees. Okay. So angle between I mu and flux, how much? I mu and flux I am saying. Okay, 0. Angle between pi and E1, how much? You know how much? You can say 90 degrees because of Lenz's law. So angle between pi and E2 also once again, how much? 90 degrees because of once again Lenz's law. Okay guys. So similarly I am asking, tell me now, here pi L1 is there, no? Pi L1, is it clear? Pi L1 is related to which flux? See, I am using same color. Please try to see at least colors and tell me. Pi L1 comes under pi 2 dash. Pi 2 dash is due to which current? I2 dash. So, just like previous I told, because of I mu, if you get pi, angle between I mu and pi is at 0. Like I am asking. So, because of I2 dash, we are getting pi L1. Because of I2 dash, we are getting pi 2 dash. Under this pi 2 dash only we are having this pi L1. So pi L1. So what might be the angle between I2 dash and pi L1? Simple, just like I mu and pi they are in phase. I2 dash and pi L1 also will be in phase. These things you should know. Okay guys. And one more thing. You know formula I1 bar equals to I0 bar plus I2 dash bar. If I neglect I0, I am saying if I neglect I0, in place of I2 dash, what I can write here? I1. That means approximately in place of I2 dash, I can write here I1 and pi L1 will be what? In phase. This relation is also correct if you neglect I0. Okay guys. Similarly, tell me, because of I2 current, you will get pi 2 in the secondary, secondary side, I2 current is flowing. Because of current flowing in secondary side I2, will get pi 2 flux. So under this pi 2 only is pi L2 is there. Pi L2 is nothing but self leakage flux component of pi 2. So because of I2 you are getting pi 2. because of pi 2 you are having, in this pi 2 only this pi L2 is there. So tell me angle between I2, so let me use the same color at least so that you can understand. Angle between I2 and pi L2, how much? How much here, please tell me. So simple, 1 second, 0 degrees, no? Right. See, so just like this, because of angle between pi and even I said 90 degrees, no? Because of Lenz's law. Similarly, tell me here, I am asking one question. So because of this pi L1, we are getting this EX1 EMF. Just like because of pi, just like we are getting E1. Like that here also, because of this pi L1, we are getting EX1. So according to Lenz's law, tell me angle between pi L1 and EX1 how much? 90 degrees. Once again, just because of Lenz's law. Similarly, this EX2 is produced because of this pi L2. Just like using Lenz's law, because of Lenz's law, angle between pi L2 and EX2 will be how much here? How much? 90 degrees. So these things you should know for understanding the diagram, vector diagram which I am just going to draw. Okay guys? Right. Now please let me draw vector diagram here. Very simple. Please try to follow systematically. So in the sequence of way, so it's vector diagram becomes very easy for you. So tell me, first of all, initially I had taken here V1. V1 is the voltage source I had taken, guys. V1 is the voltage source I had taken. It is a reference for us. It is a reference for us. So I am just repeating simply vector diagram of transformer, whatever we explained in previous videos, that only I am just repeating once again indirectly. Please try to follow neatly, okay? Tell me, whenever V1 voltage is connected, immediately after how many degrees IMU will come into picture? After 90 degrees. This already explained in vector diagram. Okay, so after 90 degrees, so IMU lags V1 by how much? 90 degrees. And I told you, see, V angle between V1 and IMU 90 degrees, that I completed. Next, what is the angle between IMU and pi? 0. So IMU, angle between IMU and pi will be 0. So let me draw exactly. This is what I can say, IMU, and angle between IMU and flux is 0. So let me draw IMU and flux in phase like this. Now according to Lenz's law, so after how many degrees when compared with your pi, E1 will come into picture. E1 lags flux by 90 degrees, no? So let me draw here, E1 lags flux by 90 degrees. Okay, this is what I can say, E1. Next, because of same flux only we are getting EMF E2 also. So once again E2 lags flux by 90 degrees. So I am assuming it as a step up transformer. So E2 will be greater than E1. I am assuming it is a step up transformer. If you want I can write here. I am assuming it as a step up transformer. That's the reason why I had taken a E2 greater than E1. Is it clear, guys? Right. Okay. Now, here one more thing is there. So, if you observe clearly, I can show IW also. IW will be in phase with the V1. This already explained. IW will be less than IMU. So, if IMU vector is this much, so IW, let me show, which is less than IMU, IW will be showing here. Vector sum of IW and IMU gives you what here? I naught. This is what I can say, I naught vector. Okay. So now let me ask one question here. So I think I can erase this portion. This portion I am just going to erase this one. Okay, otherwise, for understanding point, if you want me to keep, I'll keep like this only, no problem. Let's see. See, in primary side, guys, generally we will ideally V1 bar equal to, you write minus E1 bar, that everybody knows that. V1 bar equals to minus E1 bar, that everybody knows that. But here we are not discussing ideal case. We are discussing effect of leakage flux on the operation of transformer. So effect of leakage, if you include effect of leakage flux, I told you here pi L1 is the leakage flux in primary side. Because of that leakage flux, EX1 is the useless EMF. Is it clear? If you want to compensate this Ex1 to this minus C1 vector, I need to add something here. I need to add something. So something should be there here. Something should be there. Something should be added to minus C1. Then only I can compensate this Ex1. Similarly, in second side also. So ideally, E2 bar equal to V2 bar is the relation, right? But here we should not take E2 bar equals to V2 bar. E2 bar equals to V2 bar plus something is there. What is the something? This something is nothing but something is nothing but which is used to compensate the Ex2 in secondary side. Don't confuse. So don't write V1 equals to minus C1 in this topic. Don't write E2 equals to V2 in this topic. Because V1 bar equals to minus C1 bar plus something is there. What is this something? This something is nothing but which is used to compensate this Ex1, this useless EMF. And the secondary side also, E2 bar equals to V2 bar, don't write. E2 bar equal to V2 bar plus something is there. What is this plus something? This something is nothing but which is used to compensate this useless EMF Ex2 in a secondary side. Is it clear? So that's the reason why I won't take here. See, if it is even, so if it is even, it should be, so no doubt it is minus E1, no? This is no doubt minus E1. But in this case especially, don't write V1 equals to minus E1, which is wrong. Which is wrong. Because I said when you get V1 vector to this minus E1 vector, something should be added. Then only you will get V1 vector. So now please, it is no doubt it is minus E1, because if it is E1, it should be minus E1 because 180 degrees apart is no. But V1 is not this vector. To this minus E1 something should be added. So then he will get something somewhere. You will get somewhere here V1. That I'll show you clearly. How you will get this V1, where you will get this V1, all those things I'll tell you. But try to conclude that this vector is not V1 now. It is only minus C1, because if it is E1, that should be minus E1. Is it clear? So now I'm just going to decide V1 vector in primary side, and I'm just going to decide E2 vector in the secondary side. So, and one more thing, if you observe clearly, ideally if you might have seen when vector diagrams, we used to write E2 bar equals V2 bar like that, we used to write here. But in this topic, don't write, because I said E2 bar equals to V2 bar plus something is there, no? So now it is not E2 bar equals to V2 bar. You tell me, so after EMF into the secondary winding, then only you will get V2, no? Then only you will get this here V2 vector. So V2 lags E2 by some angle. So don't equate E2 and V2 in this topic, because we are discussing effect of leakage flux. Because of effect of leakage flux, so don't try to write E2 bar equals to V2 bar, and don't try to write V1 bar equals to minus E1 bar. That all I just want to stress, okay? Now guys, V2 lags E2, because after E2 only you will get a V2 vector, right? So now let me draw, yes, this is what I can say, V2 vector lags E2 by something angle. Up to here, is it clear? Okay. And some people may get one doubt. What is that? Sir, you told that angle between V1 and I mu is 90 degrees. Angle between V1 and IW is 0 degrees. But here I mu is not making 90 degrees with V1. It is making 90 degrees with minus C1. Similarly, IW is not in phase with V1. It is in phase with minus C1. Like that you will be having some confusion. There is nothing to confusion. There is nothing to confuse. Very simple. So in this expression, generally V1 bar equals to minus C1 bar plus something is there. I know that. And instead of writing I mu lags V1 by 90 degrees and IW in phase with V1, we are for a neat diagram, approximately we are assuming for some time we are assuming I mu lags minus C1 vector by 90 degrees. Similarly, IW in phase with the minus C1 vector. That's it. It's only assumption only. It's assumption only. In fact, no doubt, as you said, I mu will be quadrature with the V1 only. IW is in phase with the V1 only. But here, I am assuming for having better diagram, because see, if you draw V1, you get somewhere here. So I mu is now making 90 degrees with the V1 means I mu will come somewhere here. IW will be in phase, will be somewhere here, I naught will come here. So diagram becomes so complicated, no? Therefore, we are assuming that I mu is maintaining is a quadrature with the minus C1. That's it. It's only assumption only. And IW is in phase with the minus C1. It's assumption only. In fact, no doubt, as you said, I mu is a quadrature with the V1 only. IW is in phase with the V1 only. No doubt in that. Okay. Right. It's assumption only, guys. It's assumption only. Next. Now, let me draw vector diagram for lag loads. So now decide. We are drawing vector diagram for lag loads. So load voltage is how much here? V2. Load current I2. I said lag load. So not perfect lag load. So it's a combination of resistor and inductor. RL load. RL load means I2 lags V2 by some angle which is less than 90 degrees. Pure lag load means I2 lags V2 by 90 degrees. That everybody knows that. If I take RL load, I2 lags V2 by some angle which is less than 90 degrees. Okay. So let me take guys here I2. I am using same color I2 vector. No. Let me use same red color. Okay. I2 vector. Okay. I2 vector lags V2 vector by some angle. What is that angle? I can call it as pi 2. Guys, don't confuse with the angles. Here pi 2 means I just use this pi 2 for flux point of view. I just use this pi 2. Here pi 2 means angle. If you are having doubt, I'll do one thing. So let me change this notation. Otherwise you will be having some confusion. Suppose you may think that pi 2 you will take it as flux. In this case it is angle. Okay. So let me change notation. Let me use this theta nomenclature. Generally angle between I2 and V2 is pi 2 only. But since I already used pi 2 term here, I just change notation from pi 2 to theta 2. Is it clear? Right. If I refer I2 towards secondary side, sorry, if I refer I2 towards the primary side, it becomes I2 dash. So just issue angle should be there. Angle between I2 dash and I2 should be 180 degrees. Like that you have to draw. You have to draw. So angle between I2 and I2 dash should be almost equals to 180 degrees should be there. Like that you have to draw. Okay guys? I2 dash. Okay. And tell me vector sum of I0 and I2 dash gives you what? I0 and I2 dash gives you what? I1. So let me add to this I0, let me add I2 dash vector. To this I0, let me add I2 dash vector. Okay. Or to this I2 dash, let me add I0 vector. I0 vector. So that resultant is nothing but what? I1. Resultant nothing but I1. Okay, vector sum of I0 and I2 gives you I1. I can use some other color, I can use blue color, but let me use a green color only. Why means because here I told you this I2 dash or I1 I represent the green color. So for your better understanding, let me use same color, green color. Vector sum of I0 and I2 gives you what here? I1. So I1 is nothing but vector sum of I0 and I2 dash. That's what I can say I1 vector. Okay, I1. So nothing but I1 vector. Okay guys, I1 vector. Next. Now let me indicate all those things. I think this portion should be indicated on the board. So tell me guys, first of all, what is the angle between pi L1 and I2 dash? 0. I said approximately angle between pi L1 and I1 also I said 0. So tell me where I1 vector is there. Yes, here it is there. Now tell me this pi L1 should be in phase with the I1. So let me write, this is what I can say, pi L1 vector, leakage flux component in primary side. It is in phase with the I1. Next guys. So tell me this one completed. I just completed this one. Next. After pi L1, after how many degrees you will get Ex1 according to Lenz's law? Ex1 lags pi L1 by how much angle here? 90 degrees. Please try to let me repeat the statement. Ex1 lags pi L1 by 90 degrees because of Lenz's law. So this is pi L1 vector. So let me draw pi L2. Sorry, let me draw EL1. Let me repeat, guys. Sorry, not EL1. Because of pi L1, you will get Ex1. So I just use the term nomenclature Ex1. So let me use same nomenclature. Ex1 lags pi L1 by 90 degrees. So write Ex1 lags flux pi L1 by how much angle? 90 degrees. Let me show the angle clear also 90 degrees here. Okay. So since Ex1 lagging pi L1 by 90 degrees, I think we can use this relation. Is it clear? Minus j. Is there any wrong in that? No, because Ex1 lags pi L1 by 90 degrees. So lagging, so that is indicated by minus symbol here. 90 degrees, I just indicated with j, minus j. So I told you this Ex1 is nothing but just drop, no drop. Let me show the drop with it's related to primary side. So I1 bar X1 I can write. You may get one doubt, sir, why you are using X1 term only? Why you are not using a resistance term? Very simple, guys. See, because of something, if you are having only drop, that drop you have to show with the reactance parameter. Because of something, if you are having drop and loss also, that drop you have to show with the resistor parameter. If you observe clearly, because of leakage flux, we are having only drop concept. We don't have any losses topic here. We don't have any losses concept here. So we are having only drop. Therefore, that drop should be shown with the reactance parameter. That's why I use it here X1. Is it clear, guys? Right. Next, similarly, tell me what is the angle between pi L2 and I2? How much here? Pi L2 is in phase with the I2. So this is what I can say I2 vector. So pi L2 is in phase with the what I can say? I2. Now this one completed. I think this one also completed. Now tell me what is the angle between pi L2 and Ex2? According to Lenz's law, Ex2 lags pi L2 by 90 degrees. Is it clear? So that's the reason why I'll write after writing pi L2, after 90 degrees, I'll draw Ex2 vector. Okay. I'll draw Ex2, 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 Ex2 I'll write here, Ex2. What is the value? Please tell me. Ex2 lags pi L2 by 90 degrees. No. So let me write here minus indicates Ex2 lagging. No. That's why this minus symbol indicates lagging. How much angle? 90 degrees. So let me indicate J, I2 bar, X2 bar. Okay. Then some people may get one doubt. Sir, this Ex1 and Ex2 they are out of phase. No, sir. It's not exactly out of phase. If they are out of phase also, they'll think that let me cancel these two things. Sir. No. You should not cancel those things because this Ex2 is because of pi L2 flux. This Ex1 is because of pi L1 flux. If two EMFs are because of same flux, then you may, if they are out of phase, you may cancel. Okay, but here Ex1 is due to pi L1 flux, Ex2 is due to, I can say, pi L2 flux. How can you cancel those things? No, you should not cancel. Okay, you should not cancel all those things. Now, what is the conclusion? Still now I'm getting here. So I'm able to show useless EMF Ex1 in primary side. Yes, I just showed like this. Useless EMF Ex2 in the secondary side. I just showed here. Now let me compensate those things. Let me compensate those things. Tell me in primary side, how can you compensate those things? I said V1 bar equals to, how you get with this V1 vector? Minus C1 bar plus something. What is something, guys? This something is nothing but it is used to compensate Ex1. So tell me, it is used to compensate Ex1. So tell me to this E1, I should add some term which should compensate this. I can say Ex1. Now for that, what I am saying is, if Ex1 is in this direction, If I induce something out of phase with the EX1, please try to follow. EX1 is like this downward. Okay. If I induce some EMF making 180 degrees with your how much? With making 180 degrees with your EX1. See, it is like this. It is like this. How much angle between this vector and this vector? 180 degrees. If you are going to induce some EMF in the primary side, so what is that EMF magnitude value? Same as that of EX1. Okay. If you are going to induce some EMF here, that EMF, that vector should be out of phase with the EX1. Yes, it is out of phase. And what is this line indicates? Magnitude of this vector and this vector same. Since this and this is out of phase, minus becomes what here? Plus j. 180 degrees, no? Minus becomes plus j. And I1, j1. I said same magnitude also. Let me use I1 bar x1. That's it. Now minus E1 bar plus something. This gives you what I can say? V1 vector. What is that? V1 vector. This is nothing but I can say V1 vector. So guys, ultimately tell me what is the equation you are going to have in primary side. V1 bar equals to this one. V1 bar equals to minus E1 bar plus what? J I1 bar x1. This J I1 bar x1 is nothing but what? This is the EMF which I just induced in primary side to compensate this EX1. There is nothing to confuse, very simple. It is like this. You should induce EMF out of phase with this vector and same magnitude. If magnitudes are same, if they are out of phase, they will cancel with each other. So plus minus j becomes plus j, same magnitude I said I1 bar x1, here also I1 bar x1. That's it. Similarly guys, tell me in secondary side also, E2 bar equals to V2 bar plus something is there. So tell me where is this V2 vector? I think V2 vector is here, no? V2 vector is here. To this V2 vector, let me add something. What is this something? That something is nothing but which is used to compensate EX2 in secondary side. So this is what EX2. Let me use two lines here. And to this vector, I should add out of phase vector. I mean 180 degrees vector should be there like this. See, if it is like this, it should be downwards. Angle between EX2 and this vector, how much here? 180 degrees. Okay, same magnitude also. So I am indicating same symbol, two lines here, same magnitude. So since this vector and this vector are out of phase, 180 degrees apart is there, minus j becomes what? Plus j. Same magnitude. Therefore, I2 bar x2. So you'll get E2 vector equals to how much here? V2 bar plus J I2 x2 gives you E2. So let me write here E2 bar equals to V2 bar plus what? J I2 bar x2. So like this, I am just going to compensate useless EMFs EX1 in primary side by connecting some leakage reactance X1 in primary side. Similarly, I am just going to compensate EX2 in secondary side by connecting some leakage reactance X2 in secondary side. It's very simple. There is nothing to confuse. So ultimately, what is the conclusion? So let me draw a simple diagram. So you will be having some clarity. What is the conclusion you are getting here? Suppose if you take same thing, I am just drawing here, same diagram, let me draw simply. This is what transformer core having primary winding. I have taken sensor winding as same. Is the front end, back end, and here in this side, front end. And here it is the back end. Here I said V1 is the voltage source connected to the primary winding of transformer. V1 is the voltage source. Okay. And what I am saying is, and I said here it is something load is there. Let me cut some load here. load. Okay guys, simple. I said in primary side you have to connect some reactance value. What is that reactance value here? X1. So let me connect some reactance value here. I can call it as X1. Similar in secondary side also, let me get some reactance value here, X2. So then this equation, this circuit becomes like this: I1 here, I2, nothing but V2 bar, and what about this voltage? How much? E1 is the EMF into the primary side, E2 is the EMF it is in the secondary side. It is having number of turns N1 here, number of turns N2 here. What is the? Just let me show only core flux. This is a black color flux. Yes, here. Okay, right. So ultimately, now let me give a name for this X1. X1 means, guys, X1 means primary leakage reactance of transformer. 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 What is the name for this X2 also? X2 secondary leakage reactance of transformer. Secondary leakage reactance of transformer. Okay guys, so don't confuse with this X1 and X2. It's very simple. In a primary winding means definitely physically inductive reactances will be there. In the primary side, physical inductance reactance will be there, no doubt. In the secondary side also, physical inductance reactance will be there, no doubt. Okay. So along with those physical inductance reactances, this X1 is nothing but it's a imaginary, or I can say fictitious reactance, and X2 imaginary, I can say fictitious reactance, which are connected in primary and secondary sides respectively to compensate EX1 in primary side, EX2 in a secondary side. That's it. Okay. So it's imaginary and fictitious reactances, this X1 comma X2. Okay. Is it clear? But practically leakage flux can be reduced by different procedure. If you see core type transformer, by using concentric winding procedure, we are able to reduce leakage flux. If you see shell type transformer, by using sandwich type of winding, we are going to reduce leakage flux. So that we discuss anyway in future. Okay. So as of now, just let us assume that. So if you want to compensate leakage flux, if you want to compensate EX1 comma EX2 in primary and secondary sides, or I can say, so because of this leakage flux, you are getting some EX1 in primary side. Because of this leakage flux pi L2, you are getting some EMF EX2 in secondary side. If you want to compensate those EX1 comma EX2s, I can say we have to place some imaginary fictitious reactance X1 and X2 in the primary and secondary sides, so that EX1 will be compensated in a primary side, EX2 will be compensated in a secondary side. Is it clear, guys? So please note down that point. Please note down one point. Yeah. Physical inductance reactances exist. Physical inductance reactances exist in the primary winding and secondary winding. In the primary winding and secondary winding. In primary winding and secondary winding. Full stop. In addition to that, imaginary or fictitious reactances, X1 comma X2 should be placed in the primary side and secondary side. X1 comma X2 should be placed in the primary side and secondary side. Should be placed in primary side and secondary side. Should be placed in primary side and secondary side to compensate EX1 and EX2, to compensate EX1 and EX2 in the primary side and secondary side respectively. In the primary side and secondary side respectively. Full stop. This nomenclature is very important. Don't confuse with this x1 and x2 nomenclature. It's a x1 means primary leakage reactance of transformer. Okay. X2 means secondary leakage reactance of transformer. Okay. X1 means primary leakage reactance of transformer. X2 means secondary leakage reactance of transformer. So see guys, in this video, last I will see one thing here, very simple thing. So I think we told referring concept in the previous video. So if you see in primary winding, in primary side resistance R1 will be there, in secondary side resistance R2 will be there. After referring, if you observe clearly, R2 if it is coming from secondary to primary, it becomes R2 dash. R1 if it is going from primary to secondary, it becomes R1 dash. I think we got one formula also for R2 dash and R1 dash. R2 dash equals to R2 by K square. Okay, R1 dash equals to R1 into K square. Like that we got two formulas. So similarly here also guys, while referring reactances from one side to another side, you have to follow one condition. So what is that condition? We'll see here. So what is that? So if you please note down here on note, please note down on note. While referring reactances from one side to another side, while referring reactances from one side to another side, while referring reactances from one side to another side, the following condition should be satisfied. 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 What is that condition? See, per unit leakage reactance drop, per unit leakage reactance drop before transfer should be equal to per unit leakage reactance drop, per unit leakage reactance drop after transfer. What is that? After transfer. Let us use this condition and find out formulas for x2 dash and x1 dash. Very simple. Please tell me. Secondary to primary. Please, what is the meaning for this heading, guys? Secondary to primary means what? Secondary to primary means what? Please try to see here. Secondary to primary means in secondary x2 is the leakage reactance. If I refer to primary, that's the meaning. In x2 is it is placed in secondary side initially. Initially, I am just saying secondary to primary means initially x2 is secondary. If I refer it towards primary side, what will happen? That's the question. So I said, so let me discuss about x2 here, because secondary to primary we are discussing about x2 only. Before transferring, x2 is in secondary side. After transferring, x2 is going to primary side. So now tell me, per unit leakage reactance drop, about x2 I am asking, per unit leakage reactance drop before transfer. So before transfer, where is this x2? It is in secondary side only. So whenever it is in secondary side, tell me what is the per unit leakage reactance drop. So what is the formula for per unit value? Actual value of base value. I2 x2 is the actual leakage reactance drop across, I can say x2 in the secondary side by base value means what? So tell me what is the term which is related to transformer having units volts, okay, but it is present in secondary side means what? Obviously E2, no? E2. So I2 x2 by E2. So please, those who are very new, you can refer previous video also. There also I told per unit concept for resistances also. For resistances I explained this per unit concept. Please try to see that. So same, just like previous video I am just writing, okay. So per unit reactance drop across x2 means actual reactance drop means I2 x2 by, so I2 x2 is having what are the units? Volts. By base value also should be having same units. So E2 is the term which is having units volts, which is related to secondary side, then only per unit value will be unitless quantity. That everybody knows that. I2 x2 by E2 equal to per unit leakage reactance drop after transfer. Tell me guys, after transfer this x2 is going to primary side, no? So what is the current primary side? I1. So x2 becomes what? x2 dash by, in primary side what is the base value? I can take E1. Yes or no? So this relation you should write. Now from this tell me what is the formula for x2 dash. x2 dash is equals to formula, please. x2 dash is equals to, simple. I'll take this E1 here, E1 by E2. I'll let I2 as it is here. I'll bring this I1 here. Okay. So don't forget to place x2 also here. Okay. x2 dash is equals to x2. So I just brought E1 here, E1 by E2, and I just brought I1 here, I2 by I1. So now tell me, x2 dash is equals to what? x2 into E2 by E1 means k. E1 by E2 means what? 1 by k. So 1 by k, and k means I1 by I2. I2 by I1 means what? Once again 1 by k. 1 by k. So obvious, what is the formula for x2 dash? x2 by k square. Just like just like R2 dash. For x2 dash also formula x2 by k square. You might have known in the previous video we had seen R2 dash formula R2 by k square. Here also x2 dash formula x2 by k square. Okay. Please try to press pause button and just try to note down this one. Next, I am just going to explain primary to secondary. Okay, guys, primary to secondary. So tell me primary to secondary. Primary to secondary. Primary to secondary. Primary to secondary. Tell me, primary to secondary means initially x1 is in primary side. Whenever x1 is in primary side, before transfer, what is the per unit reactance drop across this x1? I1 x1, yes, I1 x1 by, what is the base value in primary side? E1 is equal to, if x1 is coming towards the secondary side, becomes a x1 dash, x1 dash. What is the current flowing in the secondary side? I2. But what is the base value I should take here? E2, that's it. Now tell me from this, what is the formula for x1 dash? Tell me. x1 dash is equals to x1 into, I'll bring this E2 here, E2, I'll write E1 as it is, I'll write I1 as it is, I'll bring I2 here, okay, right. So x1 dash equals to, what is the formula? x1 into E2 by E1, k, I1 by I2, k. So what is the formula for x1 dash? x1 is equals to x1 into what? K square, x1 into k square, that's it. Is it clear, guys? Is it clear? So please note on that. Note on that. Right. Suppose, just like a previous video, if I ask you to tell me this value, tell me what is the value you are going to tell here. See, total. See, please try. Let me write here. Total leakage reactance. Total leakage reactance. Total leakage reactance. Refer to primary side means what? You are going to write. Refer to primary side. I am asking. See, without referring, if x1 is in primary side, we call x1 as primary leakage reactance. If x2 is secondary side, we call x2 as secondary leakage reactance. I am asking now, if I refer this x2 also towards primary, I am asking now total leakage reactance referred to primary side means what? In primary already x1 is there. From secondary x2 is coming, it is becoming x2 dash. That becomes what? x01. That's it. Is it clear? Next, similarly, tell me total leakage reactance, total leakage reactance refer to secondary side, refer to secondary side. So if I refer this x1 towards secondary, there is a meaning. Already secondary side x2 is there. From primary side x1 is coming, it is becoming x1 dash. It becomes what? x02, x02, that's it. x02. Is it clear? So this is about effect of leakage flux on the operation of a transformer topic. Okay. So what is the conclusion, guys? So very simple. I told you, because of N1 I1 equals to N2 I2, don't expect that 100% pi 2 dash and 100% pi 2 will cancel. So 5% leakage fluxes will be there in primary and secondary sides. So because of the 5% leakage fluxes in primary and secondary sides, you'll get some useless EMFs EX1, EX2 in the primary and secondary sides. So I can compensate those EMFs by drawing one vector diagram. I just drawn that vector diagram also. What is the conclusion? So in primary side, if you want to compensate EX1, I should connect one leakage reactance. What is that? X1. I call that X1 as fictitious or imaginary reactance. I had given name also for that X1. I can say primary leakage reactance. If I connect primary leakage reactance in primary side, so that will compensate EX1 in primary side. Similarly, in secondary side, if you want to compensate EX2, which I got because of pi L2 leakage flux. So if I connect some once again imaginary or fictitious reactance X2 in the secondary side, okay, so we can compensate that EX2. That X2 only we call it as the secondary leakage reactance of a transformer. Is it clear? And what is the condition for referring, I can say, leakage reactances? Per unit leakage reactance drop before transfer is equal to per unit leakage reactance drop after transfer. If we follow that condition, so if I refer from secondary to primary, X2 becomes X2 dash. I had given formula for X2 dash X2 by K square. And if I refer X1 from primary side to secondary side, X1 becomes X1 dash. I got formula X1 dash equals X1 into K square. And everybody knows that what is the formula for K here? K means what? E2 by E1, N2 by N1, I1 by I2. Okay guys, see, after seeing all those things, I think before a previous video, if you observe, we had seen effect, transform this constant flux device, okay. Before that we explained effect of winding resistance, okay. So after discussing effect of winding resistance, and now we discuss effect of leakage flux. So in the next video, by using these two sessions, we are going to construct exact equivalent circuit of transformer, means practical equivalent circuit of transformer, where I will be showing resistance and reactance also. I will be showing in primary side, I will be showing R1, because for the primary winding will be have some resistance, no, R1 I will be showing here. And the primary side, EX1 is the useless EMF. To compensate that useless EMF, let me connect some X1 I said. So I will be showing here R1 and JX1 in primary side. Similarly in secondary side, secondary winding will be having some resistance R2. I will be showing R2 in the secondary side. And the secondary side is said because of pi L2, EX2 is a useless EMF. To compensate that useless EMF EX2, I need to connect some JX2 here. I will be connecting JX2 also in secondary side. So then that becomes the exact equivalent circuit of transformer, or I can say practical equivalent circuit of a transformer, okay, which we'll discuss in the next video. Okay, thank you.